history.
Now in front, the crowd roaring, go, Lonro goes, but the 3-year-old in front tells you, Lonro, he's coming, he's going to get there, yes, Lonro won it. Proud by my Whisper, my Whisper won the last.
Welcome, punters, to another episode of the Whispers Racing Podcast. As always, I'm joined by Matty. How are you, Matty?
Going well, mate. So only the second week with that intro, and I feel like still getting the whip out every time I hear Shataka or Lonro.
It's going to be tough to beat those calls, but Matty Hill is the one that will find a way, I reckon. We'll Absolutely. Have our moment. Surely we can add a few more Melbourne racing in there and send Sydney packing.
Don't doubt it. How are you going, mate?
Yeah, going well, mate. Been a busy 7 days of racing. Probably brings us straight into last week, but yeah, Gold Coast went really well on their Saturday meeting.
It did, yes. How would you describe it?
It's Gold Coast. I feel for everyone up there.
You unpick the horses getting loose, the horse jumping into the canal, and then the sprinklers being left on overnight to run one race on your biggest day of the year. Yes, bit of a fiasco.
Yeah, I feel for the owners, feel for anyone up there that paid all that money to go to find out that they're going to race. They race today. Just. Like when the sprinkler, they don't know how it happened, and the weather gods, they didn't. Obviously, rain came that they didn't predict. So that's out of your hands, and not fault of the track manager. But to run it Thursday like today was mind-boggling. I don't understand it. It should have been Saturday at the Gold Coast. More eyes on TV, more turnover. They've cost themselves at least $20 million in turnover, I reckon.
Well, yeah, I don't even know how to quantify it, but you're probably not too far off. I know I found it quite difficult to watch the races today, and I know I won't be the only one that generally watches the races on Saturday and wasn't able to today.
No, correct. I had the earpods in at work and was quietly cheering them on without anyone knowing, except a couple. But yeah, it's Gold Coast for you. It's been a wonderful Magic Millions, and all the drama that's unfolded just continued to Thursday. But no, at least they got away with it. Some nice results.
Let's take everyone back a moment. The winner of the 2-year-old Magic Millions, Skirt the Law.
Yep.
What price did you tip it at?
I tipped it at, I think it was 10s, just under.
It was double digits.
It was into 440 Saturday, which absolutely threw me. I thought, nah, it's not that price. But I was on at the 8s and was happy. And then when they refunded me, which they did the right thing, they did. But then when I'm not taking 440 Thursday, but got out to 6s, so I was happy with that. Lovely win.
Absolutely was. I would have been interested to see if it did run on Saturday, if they were able to run. If the inside would have been the place for it to be, I think it might have been quite difficult. So I think Skirt the Law should definitely be thanking those who made the decision to transfer it to a later date. Even though it did get off the rail, I think the inside would have been perfectly fine, and it probably would have won by further.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a nice horse. There was a couple of unlucky ones in that race. Be interesting to see if they spell and do the right thing, or do they push on to a golden slipper. But I thought it was a very, very arrogant win. I thought it has more upside to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did tip us one more up there. How did that go?
Yep, Yellow Brick. That was a interesting watch. I took a double Skirt of Law into Yellow Brick, and yeah, it's pretty hard to watch at work and not drop some naughty words in the office. But yeah, just unlucky. 75 meters to go. He just copped a little bump and squeeze and went through it. And still, I thought he would get there, but just unlucky. He looks like a really nice horse to follow, especially in the Winter Carnival. like a Stradbroke, a real tough 1350 race, he could be a group horse in the making.
Anything take your fancy at headquarters last Saturday?
Yeah, it was interesting because we kicked off 10:30.
It's fantastic.
I didn't mind it, but obviously turnover suffered. Yeah, it was interesting meeting. I don't know how to. I'm not going to take anything out of the meeting to move forward. I get worried with horses in high heats, floats to get there wherever they come from, even if they're Flemington horses based, not too bad. They just walk across, but yeah, it's not a meeting I'm going to dive into and go, yes, I'm picking these out and going forward with. But found a jumbuck, which was really nice and was really satisfying because when you read a race to the point, it gives you that extra and beauty when they cross the line. Because I did say Jungle Jim will have pressure and he will fold pretty quick once he gets it. And yeah, when the Jumbuck said, no, you're not going anywhere at the 400, he quickly folded and yeah, he didn't fold by much, but he just, the Jumbuck went past him.
You've been very modest, mate. You saw that one like a beach ball.
Yeah, luckily no one was home because there was a lot of good words about the 100 blowing me own trumpet.
Yeah, like you should. A $6 SP. The Jumbuck, was home with a good 100 to go. As you said, Jungle Jim was folding, but I think in the first VC, that'll be one that I'll be keeping an eye on. Also, Hallishall, I thought that was a decent run within that race. Dunkell got the job done. Just impressive. Well and truly too classy for that lot. And that was about it. You mentioned the Jumbuck. Up to Sydney, where we had the pineapple. Yes. Yes.
It's
the unicorn.
It wasn't, and that's the thing when you look back at what you do and especially how I punt, you sit back and I said to you, it still wasn't a bad tip. It just was a sit and sprint, and it didn't like that for some reason.
And the three that I highlighted within that race were the Horned Unicorn, and I had it well on top. And the numbers definitely weren't wrong there. But the way that they got to that corner was exceptionally slow and just meant that last 300 metres, any horse that was near the lead was going to find it exceptionally easy. Maria Mia, now we did mention that. Keep an eye on this horse because this wasn't the race that Maria Mia should have been winning. It should be winning over, that was 1100. It should be winning over 1400 metres. So keep an eye on Maria Mia. And Spacewalk, I'll put my hand up right now. Spacewalk was a much better run than what the Horned Unicorn was.
Yeah, I don't know if Sydney was just some yuck rides or what. Like even Spacewalk, he had so much of the track and just made some poor. I think he made a poor decision for a little bit to cost it the race.
I'll tell you the first three jockeys: Gibbons, Cartwright, and Schiller.
Bright futures.
Yes,
that's the positive.
absolutely. But we did warn people that all the decent jockeys in Sydney were going north for the pool parties up there. But no, it was a little bit disappointing there for the pineapple. But we will move on. I think out of that race though, Spacewalk will be winning its next race. No questions about that. It was definitely the run of the race for mine. Maria Mia. Keep an eye on it because it'll probably go to 12 or 1300 metres next, and it doesn't need to have a sit and sprint like it did to be winning. It's a quality horse, and I think it'll be winning as well. The Horned Unicorn, I think, is probably towards the end of the preparation.
Would have liked to have seen him lead on it. Like the way he won last start, he led on it, or outside leader. He just didn't get the dictate. So I wouldn't drop off him. He wasn't far off. He kept, or she, whatever the horse is, but never dropped away. So I think you can go again if you backed it, which we did. So we'll go again. But yeah, I wouldn't drop off it that quick.
Yep. Other one worth mentioning, Snapped. Well,
Ugh.
we didn't get the ride of the race. Let's put it that way. Matty Cartwright probably didn't finish the way he wanted to on Snapped, and Kerr Riel got the chocolates.
Yeah, as we said, barrier one, you either go forward or you go back. You don't sit in that no man's spot, and that's what he did. Unfortunately, he tried to push up, but he just nah. I think any other jockey does the same thing too. So it's no. I'm not going to knock him and say it was a shit ride. I know he was $1.80 pop. People have had a fair crack on it, but from barrier one, that's what you've got to expect. Is the jockey and the horse good enough to find a gap? Yes, pile in. No, stay out. So worth following, though, definitely.
And it was a conversation we had. It was the best horse in that race by a long way. However, how the race pattern panned out did not suit.
No, correct. Talking points this week. It's been a what would you say? Pretty big week of
a big week in racing.
We actually, we could have spoken about Dean Lester, but that's been well publicised. So we're going to talk about Tommy Berry. Wowee.
What happened to Tommy? I haven't caught up with this one.
So suspended for 12 months for accepting money from a punter. $15,000 he was offered for his services as a winning punter. He was trying to hand over. Kept knocking it back, but then said, hey, put it in my mum's account, which he did. And that money went to a renovation of Tommy Berry's rental property, which the mum lives in.
How much would Tommy Berry make it a general day at a metro meet in Sydney?
Oh, extra 15,000 is pretty good in your back pocket, though.
Oh, mate, it is, but
I didn't know, and I don't know if I'm just plain dumb, and that's probably a big option here, but I just didn't know that they weren't allowed to accept cash or slings off punters. Like, how many times would a punter walk up to a jockey in a car park and go, oh, mate, you just, you won me this much. Thank you. Here's a 500. I reckon it would happen more often, but I didn't know they had to declare it to the stewards.
I didn't know that, but I would have assumed it.
Yeah, but going through Tommy Berry, he was the punter owns a butcher shop, and correct me if I'm wrong out there, but he was getting some nice packages of meat and putting it on social media from the butcher. So not smart, is it? But they were questioned about this and, denied it and all that, but it's all come out. Tommy Berry's going to appeal it, so it'd be interesting to see if he gets any time rubbed off that suspension. I don't know. I'm gobsmacked at how much he got. I thought maybe.
So was the money? So do you reckon there was any cash exchanged in the middle of the porterhouses?
Oh well, I think there might have been. No one's cottoned on. Yeah, but it doesn't look good. 15,000 goes to your mum's account, and you're using that to fix your rental. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll see what comes of the appeal.
But even interesting, Jack Martin, Kayla Nisbet was suspended today for pretty much the same thing as well, with the same butcher. I think one of them got 3 months, the other one got 6 months. There was a bit of betting involved as well. It's interesting because Berry, Nisbet, a family. They're Nisbet is the sister-in-law to Tommy Berry. I've probably fucked that right up, but well done to me. And Jack Martin, I think, is dating Nisbet. So it's not a good look, all three of them, with the same punter.
Is Jack Martin still lining up for the Blues this year? Or
yeah. I'm not going to get sucked in there. I'm not. But yeah. So interesting thing. It's not a good look what's happened. They'll do their time. They'll come back better people. And yeah, Jordan Mallion as well is in on it as well, and he finds out his suspension in a couple of days. Racing Vic, they thought they'd have a quiet week, proposing the move of the Cox Plate from October 28th to November 25. I'm hearing it's going to be a 3-year trial to see if it works, which I don't mind, and that's we'll give it 3 years. If it doesn't work, we'll put it back. Racing Vic have said as well they'll put the race up to $8 million if it moves. So is that the carrot to get Moonee Valley to say, yep, we're happy to go? Quite possibly. But so we'll possibly see the 1,000 Guineas run on the November 18th, Cox Plate November 25th. And my gut feel is the week after we see the Caulfield Cup.
Okay.
And we've got to remember, MRC wanted this a few years ago during COVID to move it all back. So, look, personally, I don't mind it because it's a 3-year trial. Let's try something. But if it doesn't work, it goes straight back. That's fine. But I don't mind them trying something here. Obviously, the autumn's going to move back as well. So they're not so close together. But let's try something different. I'm all for it.
So does that mean we open the carnival at Flemington?
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah.
Okay. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's different. I know it's rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way, this, with Melbourne Cup sitting middle of nowhere, but Caulfield Cup was going nowhere, so they have to do something.
Yeah.
Cox,
and you know what they'll do? They will find lead up races for the Melbourne Cup.
Yep, correct. They're not going to just move it and go, yep, see you later, we're done. There's going to be races, like there'll be a 2040 race, I reckon, on the original Cox Plate Day to cover it.
Yeah. I just, I wonder how that plays through post for a race like the Caulfield Cup. So are you potentially going to have the quality of horses that have gone through the Melbourne Cup holding on to the Caulfield Cup? Who knows? We'll see how that plays through. I'm sure they've had that debate plenty of times. What does excite me is the Cox Plate could be the biggest race in Australia.
Yeah, it should be. There's no way the Golden Eagle should be, or anything in Sydney should be. That's just my opinion. Good to see, because Cox Plate's always been the best race of the carnival. We haven't got the internationals anymore. They're not coming because all those rules that are in place now. This might be a better chance we get them out here, the
Absolutely.
bigger ones.
Yeah.
I know it pushes around Japan Cup, a Hong Kong International Day, but let's try it. I think people just need to relax a little bit. I've seen some posts where they've just ripped right through them. Let's just give it a shot. Let's see what happens. We need clear air. They've talked about clear air, attendance, and turnover. They're the three, and now they're going to try it with this. So I'm all for it. Let's give it a go, and let's put egg on my face when I'm wrong and it goes back to normal days.
Just on that, and leave turnover aside, but in terms of clean air, tick. In terms of attendance, I think it's a tick as well. You very rarely find people who will be going to the Caulfield, the Cox, and the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
And when I say rarely, obviously there are plenty that do, but I know there are plenty that only pick one of those days.
Yep.
I think by spreading it out and having some time in between, you'll find that people will probably attend more than one of those events. So I don't mind what they're doing, but as I said, what I find really interesting and hope happens is getting those international horses back to the Cox Plate.
Yeah, 100%. I reckon it's going to be good. I'm fingers crossed. Let's see. There's more to pan out from this, so it might not happen, but let's see how it all goes. Buying shares and cashing out, Matty, you got anything?
Look, I wasn't going to, but just having a look at the Flemington, as I mentioned, there's a few that I'll probably keep an eye on, and VC will be one that won the first at Flemington. And just having a quick look at Rose Hill, I'd probably... Ringmaster, I didn't mind that win over 1350 at benchmark 78. I think that's got potential to go on. And as I mentioned, Maria Mia, that will definitely be one that we look at next start, along with Spacewalk. So I'll update the portfolio to include those.
Yeah, I'm going to add two in here, and I don't normally look for Wednesday racing, but there was two yesterday that really took my eye here. Miso from the Bowman Yard and Beretta both won really impressively for a Wednesday. I think they can have a huge spring because they're both going to be tipped out now. Maybe one more start for one of them. But these horses, I'm going to call it, will win group races this spring if they're not going to Hong Kong or, sold off. I think Miso is the second version of Don't Be Good to Your Mother. same stable, but it looked strong, tough, arrogant win. And Beretta, well, its wheels were spinning at Sandown yesterday, and it still won like a good horse. So there too, I'm chucking in and very eager to see where they end up. I hope,
Good to know.
hopefully, Myso goes to the Rupert Clark. That'd be a great little.
Okay, early tip. I like it.
Yep. Track stats. So we've got two here. We're doing Moonee Valley and we're doing Randwick this week. So Rail True at the Valley. I'll be looking for horses on speed. Do note the track has played quite even of late, but I love looking for horses on speed here. Rail True. Rail 4 meters at Randwick. I'll be looking for horses. Oh, sorry. The stats tell me that lanes 1 to 7 will be play nice and even, and they should be able to win from anywhere in those lanes. So it's lanes 1 to 7, front, back, middle. But as always, just look for horses on speed, I think. But yeah, lanes 1 to 7 will be your A spot. Trial tracker this week. Geez, I tossed and turned here. There was 2 in this race. Race 8, number 12, Munamek. He's had 1 jump out since its unlucky second at Moonee Valley. Its jump out was over 800 metres at Flemington. The time was 48.81, which I consider just over par. But the horse looked really good, and this is its last chance. And I'm happy to give it one last chance after this jump out. Jai McNeil goes on board. Barrier 6 is sweet, should be handy spot, and give this every chance. I'll put the jump out on this if you're watching on YouTube, and race replays as well. But yeah, Munamek was really good. And if you want to chuck another one in, put this in your black booker, because I think it's going to win some races. It's number 8, Playoffs, in the same race. He's coming back from a Darwin campaign, the Darwin Cup. His jump outs have been really, really good. But Barrier 12 tells me they'll go back. But keep an eye on it. It looks to be going really, really well for Kieran Ma and David Eustace.
Munamek, I had in my numbers. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, its jump out was really good. I didn't want to because I thought he's had enough. And I've said 2-3 starts ago he's had enough. But the jump out tells me he's still going well enough. And I think he can win.
Good.
This week, we're going to be doing Moonee Valley races 2 and 7 and Randwick race 4 and 5. We'll start things off here with race 2 at the Valley. It is a benchmark 70,000 meters. The odds here we got here are top odds of all the bookies we got here. Top odds $1.90 for the unflinching, the favourite. Number 3, Way to the Stars, $4.50. Number 7, Jocelyn, $9.50. And then you can have $11 the rest. Speed map will be down below. And as you can see, there's a little bit of pressure for this race. I'm just trying to bring up the speed map on my computer here. Yeah, Young Liam from 1, I think, kicks up here. Flinching should just follow him wherever he wants to go. Sit outside leader. Number 3, Way to the Stars. He's also a leader, so there's going to be a bit of pressure in here. Jocelyn can go forward later. Solly can go forward. By Frost can sit right behind them. So that's how I see the speed map here. But I'm keen to kick off here with a bang in. Number 2, Unflinching, being a good horse in its 2 starts this prep. First up was really good, only going down by 2.75 to Inundation. And second up, it was really good. Again, on a fast tempo and on a day, leaders were advantaged at Sandown. The other leader of the race was beaten 4 lengths, and where we went down by 0.75. Third up now should be at peak fitness and ready to win. Barrier 2 is perfect. Sit outside leader, like you can see on the speed map. The only negative, if I've got one, is Amy McLucas, the jockey. She's claiming 3. She goes around at around 10% for a 3 claimer. I think that's good enough. She has won at Sydney in their metro meetings, so she knows how to ride at metro meetings. I think she's going to be a nice jockey, but all she has to do on this horse is sit on it, just let it run. Don't try and take a hold or a stranglehold over 1,000 meters. Just let fast horses be fast. She'll be fine. Just don't pull the reins. That's all I ask. The only danger I've got here is number 3, Way to the Stars. Nice win at Doomben on New Year's Eve. Just holding on. But first time Melbourne Way and the Valley, which is a tight turning track, can be quite difficult for the Sydney-Brisbane horses. Plus Barrier 6 could be camped out wide, and I think it will be. It's going to have to be good to ping the lids and find the front with young Liam and unflinching from barriers 1 and 2. Number 1, Lady Sully. Its best is good enough. It's had no jump outs from what I can see off a 7-month layoff. I would have loved to have seen a jump out to get an opinion on this horse, but market will be our friend on here. But I'm keen to kick things off here. Number 2, unflinching at around the $1.90, $1.80 mark. Matty.
Like it's had it and also your second pick, numbers 1 and 2, and I can see how the market have found both of them. Miss McLucas. Much information on her?
Not much. She's just started riding in Sydney, but she's down on here for a loan. Interesting first ride for her to jump on this one, but claiming 3, so down to 55 is quite handy. And I don't mind female jockeys on leaders.
Yep.
I just think they're very good at just getting it right when they're on leaders. They're strong when they're on leaders. So I'm interested. I'm keen to find out at $1.90.
I like it. I've got nothing further to add. I had both of those 2 on top.
Yeah, nice. You want to kick off race 4 at Randwick?
I do, mate. So, interesting race over the 2,000 metres, benchmark 84. Now, note here, Worm, 6 out of these 10 horses are internationals. A lot of these have been bought over 2-3 years ago and haven't done much racing.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different cases to be made for these. But while I do make those cases, Worm, have you got the odds?
I don't, mate, because my computer's decided to shit itself.
All right. I'll do the odds as I had them a couple of hours ago. So these have decided. If these have changed, please take note. But we do have Logan Street Line on top at $4. We've got Mahagoni at $5.50, Tony B at $6, and Irish Legend at $7. They're the main ones in the field. Well, I see the speed being here with Irish Legend and Mr. Dependable. I see those 2 going to a clear lead, and a few behind it with cover, and then another just finding their spot in midfield and towards the rear across the 2,000 metres. Realistically, there's a couple of form lines here that I think we need to follow, or we need to decide which form line that we do need to follow from, and it's Irish Legends, All the Way Win Last Start, or Logan Street Lion. And I'll mention both within the 4 horses. We'll start off with Irish Legend. It was a really gutsy win last start, all the way over 2,000 metres. I think it'll be in front again here, or very close to. It should actually find the rails, and it should have Mr. Dependable once outside. I see this being a little bit tougher than its last start, and not necessarily the race that I will be following. And for that, I've got it in selection number 4. So I think it'll be tough for it to hold on. I think it'll probably be in front with 150 to go though, so it won't be all the way out, and it'll probably end up running to place. Helene Leading Star. Now, Worm, you tipped this last start against Detonator Jack at Sandown and it rattled home for 3rd. So can we get your thoughts on how you see Helene Leading Star in this race?
Yeah, I like its Hong Kong form. I think it's a good horse. Now, I did say I wanted it to lead this start because I reckon it got left flat-footed. So when I looked over the times from last start, so from the 1,000 to the 800, it went 13:48. Then 11:96 to the 8 to the 6, 11:16 6 to the 4, and 10:64 4 to the 2. Now, it did get left flat-footed, but that 13:48 to 11:96, that's they were walking, and then they've just absolutely taken off. And I just love to see this horse up front dictating, because it can. I think it can win, and what you can't be left flat-footed when you lead. Its best is good enough.
Don't disagree. Definitely don't disagree, which is why I've got on the numbers. I think you do need to have a little bit of trust just to understand where its peak performance could be. But I like the way it's progressing. So I understand how yourself and a number of others are going to be landing on Helene Leading Star. Mahogany, mate, love the way that this horse is pushing through the grades and also the distances and finds its first start at 2,000 metres. Fantastic second placing behind Logan Street Lion last start. And I'm expecting a really bold showing. Now, Mahogany from barrier number 7, I'm expecting it to drop back. So one thing you do need to do is make sure you keep an eye if they're making ground or not. If no one's making ground, then I probably won't be having anything on Mahogany, because I don't see it racing any other way other than dropping back, coming around them wide, and going exceptionally hard. Its last 400 will probably be the quickest last 400 in the race. But if they're not making ground, it doesn't matter how fast it runs, it'll be running up and down the spot. So just keep an eye on that. Mahogany, I am expecting a big run from, but just have a look at how the track's playing. Worm on top, Logan Street Lion. Now, this horse has been progressing beautifully and one last start. 6th up this prep and first time at 2,000 metres. So I think our man Waller and McDonald will be ready. I wonder if they actually expected it to win last start. I know they expected to run well, but whether they expected to win or not, or whether they actually set it for this 2,000 metre race, which Waller has, from memory, when I had a quick look, I think he's come second the last 2 or 3 years. So I wonder if Logan Street has been set for this, and this is the chance for Mr. Waller to pick up the check. Now, from barrier number 1, I don't see that being too much of a concern, especially with the speed on in this race. You're going to find the 2 leaders, a couple with cover, and then I think Logan Street will probably sit 5th or 6th. So, Worm, on top, I do have Logan Street. I'm expecting a huge run by Mahogany. Helene Leading Star, I understand how a lot of people are going to land on this, especially at that $10 price point. Irish Legend will be around the mark. I just don't know whether it's going to be able to. I don't think it will be able to run leading all the way with this quality field. Worm, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you. If you quickly look, you look at Logan Street Lion, it's 6th up, and you'd be going, oh, no, I'm not a fan of that sort of stuff. But it's spaced his runs. So 1st, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. Like, I think they've worked this horse out that it needs gaps between runs. Okay, this is on a 12-day backup. I'm not going to question that. I'm not going to be against it for that. But, yeah, definitely spacing it's working, and then it must be ready to go for a 12-day backup. Yeah, Helene Leading Star, I'm keen to be with that at around the $10 mark. Definitely 1x3 for me. But number 5 here, Almania. Interesting runner. Really good first up. Flashing light. Yeah, put it in your black booker, but it's 2nd up after 2 years off. It's going to be a flat run. $9.50. Keen to take it on. I reckon it gets the blows right out to 15s on race day, because I think they'll back Logan Street Lion. They'll back Helene Leading Star. I think Tony B is going to be a market mover here. 7-day backup. A lot of punters were tipping this in the second last race on Saturday, and I don't know why. I don't follow Sydney racing too much, but I was a bit weird to everyone was piling in and tipping it on top. But 7-day backup now. Chris Waller, can't question him.
No, and Tony B, it's been getting back and flashing home as well. A lot of punters do get sucked in by that, especially that last 400 metres closing time. And to be fair, Tony B, they didn't make too much ground that day, so you can put a case forward for it. I think there's better horses in the race than Tony B. I think it's had its time to win those couple of races. Wasn't able to get it done. I don't think it's going to get it done here. Yeah, interesting one as well, Amania. Now, if you go back to 2022, it was actually 2nd at headquarters behind Parade in the benchmark 80.
Yep.
And then from there, as you said, had 2 years off and came back, was impressive first up, but you're going to need to take it on trust, especially if it's at that $8.50 mark. Yeah. Look, it may win, and you can make a case for, I would suggest out of the 10, probably 8 of these horses, but I can't tip it.
Yeah. I'm just, this Almania, I reckon I might have been tipping it for a Melbourne Cup a couple of years ago.
Mate, I forgot to ask you that before we actually jumped on, but I think you did as well. I think if we went back through both of our bet slips, we might have had one for $20 on it.
Yeah, I reckon it was. Yeah. It's going to do my head in now. I know the colours, the name rings a bell, but
yeah,
it's something else. But
no,
yeah,
I think you're 100% right. I think you did tip it to us, and I think we both had something on it at quite a large price.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. Race 5, you're going to go back to back, running double specialty.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, over the benchmark 72. Interesting race. There's going to be plenty of speed on, and I'll talk about the speed very shortly. But before I do that, Worm, have you got the odds this time?
Yep, I got it. Oh, good. The notebook was hitting the space bar and was sending it into a blender, my computer. So we're back. Top odds here, $2.70. The favourite, Passeggiata. I've probably got that wrong, but let's go with it. Number 8, Lavish Empire, $6.50. 4, Q Road, $8. 2, the back rower, $9. 6, Wave Rider Boy, $9.50, and you can have $11 the rest.
Mate, well pronounced, Passeggiata. Well done. You may have a career in race calling yet.
Can't even read, mate.
Mate, there is going to be plenty of pace on in this race, and I'm going to go the opposite way to what I usually do. I usually start with selection number 4. I'm starting with where I think the pace is going to be, because Passeggiata is a fast horse. Over 1,100 metres, we've seen her have 2 starts, lead all the way. Been impressive. Now, Passeggiata, last start on a heavy 8, you'll see that it looked like a quick stand with about 200 metres to go. Still got it done. So that will raise a couple of eyebrows. And Worm, I think you and I will have a chat about that very shortly. But assuming it's still up and going, it's going to be way too quick for plenty of these. The challenge I see for Passeggiata is there is plenty of speed within this race, and a lot of horses that in their short careers have been leading all the way as well. So is Passeggiata going to be able to fly the gates, get that early lead? If it doesn't, it's in a lot of trouble. Now, I have it on top because I believe that it can find a lead, and it's going to be plain and simple, too quick for these horses. If that doesn't happen at 270, then I think it opens up to a couple. Back rower now was absolutely fantastic last year against Manzoi's last prep. Then came out and won over 1,400 metres. The race against Manzoi's was over 1,300 metres. This is over 1,100. So does it need that little bit further? Now, back rower, it's going to be sitting probably 3 back. I think there's going to be your leaders in Passeggiata and probably Recruit Road. They're probably the 2 that are going to be leading. And then you're going to have a few like Cardo and Lavish Empire. They're going to be 2 back. And then I think you'll find your back rowers and so forth, that 3 back. Now, if there is a challenge for the lead, I think that back rower is going to be in prime position. Now, it's going to be suited over 1,300 and 1,400 metres rather than this 1,100 metres, and that's why I don't have it on top. It's probably going to be one that I throw into the black book. But, again, if it's not a sit sprint, if they do actually burn a lot of speed early, it's going to be getting to the line exceptionally strongly. Wave Rider Boy. It's going to be exactly the same. These 2 raced against Manzoi's, and both of them were super. I tipped it last week. It was scratched. I tipped it to run a place, and I haven't changed my mind here. I think this horse has got a lot of upside, and the only concern, similar to back rower, is the distance. Passagiata, if it jumps, it wins. If it gets challenged for the lead, I'm looking at the likes of back rower, Wave Rider Boy, and the 2 second up starters, Lavish Empire and Cardone. I think they're probably the ones that can get it done against Passagiata if it doesn't get the lead, or if it does get challenged, they're the ones that I'll be looking at. Worm, that may have been a little bit convoluted for a racehorse that is paying $270 that I have on top, but I do think that it's going to get a lot of heat up front. How did you see it?
Yeah, the data figures I use, I looked at Passagiata and went, wow, what a horse this is. Numbers are huge. It's definitely up to Saturday level. It's definitely up to listed level with the numbers it can do. I'm watch the replays. It's maiden win, impressive. It's next start. Wowee. I don't know if the horse just took hold of the jockey and took off on it, or it's just a dead set speed demon. I think it is a speed demon. 260. Now, I do love taking favourites on when I can, and this one I'm not going to take on whatsoever. My only concern for $2.60 is it's been in 2 fast races and coming off a heavy 8 track. Has it burnt it, cooked it, first prep? Barrier 8, I don't have an issue because it just slowly comes across. 1100 is probably the absolute max. It'll be probably last 50 will be interesting watch. I think it wins because I can't find anything that can beat it. Considering there's a lot of first uppers, second uppers. This horse is rock hard fit. Bolden Ho, he's up for 10th up or something next prep. And then a lot of them are going to be back and wide, and this one's just going to be out in front, making every post a winner.
Don't disagree. Don't disagree with any of that. If it jumps, I think it wins.
You've almost made me change the pineapple on the go. That is I'm with you. I just don't know who beats it.
Oh, look, I just have, similar to what you said, I just have the question mark about the heavy track last start. It's third up. There's just those couple of question marks there. But if it bounces the gates, if it's on, it's going to win.
Yeah.
I just have that niggling query that it's third up after a heavy track. That's the only question mark that I have.
Yeah. It's on a 2-week backup too. If they gave it an extra week, I'd be pushing in with you. But I just don't know. I'm probably going to follow Winnie. As I said, I can't find anything to beat it.
And then I think what we'll do is we'll probably follow back rower and Wave Rider Boy next start.
Yep, 100%, definitely.
We said that against about Maria Mia, and she came out at $109. So probably worth having a couple of bucks just on those two.
Yeah, 100%. But no, well put together. I will follow you in. You've convinced me. I wasn't convinced 43 minutes ago, but now I am good to go. Race 70 is the benchmark 84, 1,200 meters. Got the odds here, the best odds. Favorite is Dancing Dubai, $3. 2, Bill the Boxer, $4.60. Pigaro, number 4, $7. 5, Sacred Palace, $12. In Strip Back, $14. And then you can have $16 the rest. Good race, this. It's good because you can find out what the track's going to play by this race, and we can really either chip down, chip up if it's going to be any leader bias or wherever the winners are coming from. We can really find out by now, and we can really, play really well with our chips and chip right up if we can. 2-bet race here. I'm here with number 8, Dancing Dubai, as my main bet, and I'm going to have a little play on number 5, Sacred Palace. We'll start with number 8, Dancing Dubai. Really impressive last start off an even tempo. Carleen Heffel rode it, an absolute treat. This prep has been really good, and I feel now it can put a picket fence together. And a lot of people say mare's in form, huge tick, and this is a mare in form. Again, gets a nice barrier, can control things. Carleen stays on board. And as I said, female jockeys on leaders, I give them an extra tick. I feel $3 is a good price still. And if there's any sign of bias, as I said, this could start 240 come race time. The other horse I'm keen to play here is number 5, Sacred Palace. Go and watch its first up run at Sandown. Ollie basically rode this at 50% because he felt the horse wasn't going good enough. But he kept grinding to the line, went back to the inside, hard up against the rail, wasn't the place to be. Barrier 1 here can be hugging the rail and give us a huge side at around $12. As you can see on my speed map, it's going to be 3 pairs back, 4 pairs worse, because it does tend to step a bit slowly. But if he can ping the gates, he can camp right behind him. $12 isn't going to be is going to be a really good price to start to get involved here. 1x3s, however you want to play it, but I think it's a 2-bet play. Number 11, Hickok. Big odds here. Jumped out really well, but the barrier is a huge concern. Please put it in your back booker because it's going to win some races down the track at around $17 on Saturday, not for Saturday. Number 10, Strip Back here. Total Forgive last start. Don't think it like the straight racing. Going back around a corner, big tick. Barrier 3 can go well. Sit positive. Bo Mertens is starting to ride for Lindsay Smith, and he's putting some wins together for the team. So watch for that little combo. SP $5 against Jungle Jim last start, who went well behind the jump back last week, which we tipped. So we must respect Strip Back at around $13. You can almost make it a 3-bet play, but definitely put those 3 in your quaddie. Or if you want, go 1 out with Dance You Dubai. But keen here, you want to play 2 bets. I reckon 40 on Dance You Dubai, 10 on Sacred Palace is a winner amongst one of those 2. Matty.
Just want to know, how is my boy Exeter going to go?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not a fan of the ownership, but that's a different story. Yeah, really good last start, mate. He was in that Vermentina and Dance to Dubai race.
Yep.
Geez, I didn't give him a shout last start. I thought, no, what are they doing? Like, got beaten 8 lengths to Vermentina, but obviously Vermentina pulled up with an issue. On the corner, Froggy gave it a peach, and I thought it was going to win for that split second. Barrier 9, I wouldn't be surprised if they scratch and find a better barrier and race.
Yeah, interesting. It's had 4 starts this preparation. Barrier 1, 6, 4, and 2.
Yeah.
And all been very good results except for 1. So, yeah, I don't disagree, but good to see that it's found a bit of form. I know Danny O'Brien, after its first start, said that this will be running in group races. Danny didn't have that spot on, but a horse definitely with a lot of talent. Yeah,
they bought it really cheap, and Gavin Bedgegood, mate, him and his tried horses, he gets them to go another level. Good on the ownership buying into this. They've got their money back and more with this horse, so can't knock that. But yeah, just think it might be not for Saturday. I think there should be better races for it somewhere else.
Oh, well, hopefully they do scratch it. Otherwise, I'll probably be having something on it. Because I felt sick as they went around the corners last start at the Valley, knowing I didn't have anything on it.
Yeah, they're those sort of horses when they win or run well, you straight on the blower to them. You back it? Nah, not a cent. So it always brings a smile to my face when I know someone's had a hard on for these horses back a few preps and they start to put it together.
Yes.
We will see. Yeah, 100% right. WhatsApp. If you want to get involved, guys, I'll put my email down in the video down below. Email me if you want to get involved. We run a little WhatsApp community where I put my thoughts, Matty's thoughts. More importantly, you can put your thoughts on any races, sport, snail races. We were betting in the FA Cup on Tuesday, which was a good result.
Was that Forest
Yeah, Birmingham City.
Birmingham?
Yeah,
They're playing Nottingham Forest or something.
Yeah, we took the $2 and we were down 1-0 after 8 minutes. So that was a good start, but no, we got the chocolates. So DM one of us or email me and I'll put you straight through to our WhatsApp. DM us on Twitter, Instagram, you know where we are. So please come join. You can come for a week, a month, a year. Doesn't matter. You leave whenever you want, but yeah, it's a nice little tight community with plenty of winners, but also subscribe to our channels, get them as they drop. The audio drops straight up Thursday night and the video comes out Friday morning. So please subscribe, share it, do what you can for us. 5 stars, whatever you want to do, but please, we want to reach more audience and tip more winners for everyone else. That's the main reason for it.
How's our resident tennis superstar going?
Yeah, we went right day one.
Oh,
we had a nice little multi. And then day 2 we lost, but he's gone quiet. He's gone in hiding, so we're hopefully going to get him to pop up again for whatever day we're up to, 5 tomorrow.
Yeah, day 1 was an absolute clean up, so that was a nice little collect that we had there because we backed them all individually and also multied them all up. I think he ended up with 7 out of 7 for the day, so that was exceptional. But what I liked was he came out with the quarterfinal winners.
Yes, yeah.
They're all still alive. I know we're only in round 2, but some of them are already through to round 3. So that one is still live as well.
Yeah, nice. And we had someone had a royal fill-up Wednesday at Sandown.
Yes.
I didn't bet into the race, mate. I did, but it got scratched. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done. Won't watch. And had them on in the background and saw these multis just starting to light up. And 2-leg multis turned into a win. And then the 2-legger turned into a 4-legger. And it was, there was some nice collects.
There's fair to say double down and double down again.
Yep. And they're just community members sharing their thoughts and what they think. And a lot of people followed. So, yeah, good on them.
Good times.
Yeah, good times. Around the grounds, Matty, where are you going?
Well, let's stay in Melbourne to start with. Coatel, race 3, $3.50. Look, I've liked this horse. It probably hasn't achieved what I thought it would, but in this particular race, I think it's very well suited. As long as it doesn't get too far back, it's going to get a great sit, and I think we'll get a really nice toe into the race, should build momentum around the corner, and I think it's got an exceptional chance at winning this race. Okay to pay, I think, is the main danger. You actually steered me into okay to pay, or to have a look at it anyway. So at $9, I think it's quite overs, and it's got the form behind Inundation, so I think it's probably going to be the one closer to the front. We're going to go to Canterbury on Friday night, Worm. Now, we've mentioned this horse before, Citizenship. Now, previously when we've mentioned it, it's been about $1.80. You can get it for $4 at the moment. Blinkers on, James McDonald off, is riding in the race. Quite interesting.
Yep.
Tim Clark on board. Barrier number 3 goes straight to the front.
Yep.
None of this hanging around, seeing what other horses are going to do. Go straight to the front, take all the danger out of it. Once it does do that, I think it's got the raw ability and speed to be able to win the race.
Yep. We talked about this horse for quite a while in the pre-production, and Timmy Clark was the clue for me. He's going to grow forward, as you said. I'm not going to look into J-Mac not riding it because I think they wanted a front runner on it, because what it did last in its jump out, it floated. It was like in no man's land. It was like a 15-year-old playing senior football, and he was going to get hurt, but in that gap, he just floated. But after the line, he hit the line well. So I reckon they go jump, lead, win, and I'm gobsmacked why we're getting $4 now.
Absolutely. Look, there's a couple of horses in the race that have had starts and had placings, but I wouldn't say there's anything exceptional.
No, I can't find anything near it if it brings its best.
Anyway, we will try again with Citizenship. Fingers crossed they don't get a lot of rain. And I think we'll see it, as you mentioned. Linkers on, Tim Clark, jump, lead, win.
Yep. Is that it for you?
That's it.
Wave Rider Boy, race 3?
I'll mention Wave Rider Boy. Yeah, it's probably worth mentioning that it is nominated on Friday night at Canterbury. So we've mentioned it in race 5 in Sydney.
Yep.
I guess the interesting part for me here is the jockey on board. So J Max on board on Saturday. However, correct me if I'm wrong, we've got Tommy Berry on board on Friday.
Yep, Barrier 1.
I don't think it runs on Friday. I think it runs on Saturday, personally.
Yeah, but would you back it in race 3 Friday night if it runs?
Similar to what I said last week, I will be backing it for a place wherever it runs.
Get off the fence. Come on. We're going to win, aren't we?
I think it runs a place either Friday or Saturday. Mate, okay. At $9, we'll be betting 1x4.
Yeah, no, smart. Doesn't matter how you punt as long as it's a collect. My around the grounds. I'm going to go Flemington Friday, 3:00. I think they kick off. Rapid Racing, race 1. It's a maiden down the straight. I think it's 1,000. Number 6, Grey Song. Not the Grey Song that ran in Melbourne Cups. This is another Grey Song. Really like this horse jump out for its debut on Friday down the straight. I feel there isn't any depth to this race, and his jump outs were really, really good and strong. At around the 260, I think this is a bet. I think it could start close to $1.80 come race time once the trial pervs get involved. But yeah, I think 260 is a good price to kick off your Friday fill-up. Then we'll go to Moonee Valley race 4. We're going to be with number 60, Shuffle Dancer. Had barrier 1 last start, went really well. On a day it was hard to make ground. Hit the line really well. 4th up, barrier 4 can sit right behind the leaders. You're starting to see a pattern with my punting guys right behind the leaders. It should be hard to beat. Form lines read really well for this. It was a nice gap to 3rd. So that's race 4, number 6, Shuffle Dancer on Saturday, and Flemington race 1, number 6, Grey Song.
Cool. Now, one to go, which is the pineapple.
No,
sorry, multi first.
Hey, okay. Well, hey, back. Hey, let's go back. Multi saluted last week.
How many legs?
This guy got 1 leg.
Oh, wow.
So I celebrated with Dunkel, paying around the $2 mark. So again, there's been 2 winning multis, and this guy's been part of all of them.
I can't let you claim any of that.
So if there's a Twitter punter of the week, I'm this guy. So I'll chuck in 1 this week. I'm going to chuck in Shuffle Dancer. It's $1.80. We'll chuck it in the win. Matty, what are you chucking in?
Race 4, Sydney, Mahagonia Place, and also Citizenship, the place as well, which is paying about $1.50. So considering we would have got about $1.75 for it to win, I'm jumping all over the $1.50 for the multi.
Yep. That comes 3-leg multi comes to $5. Shuffle Dancer, Mahagoni, and Citizenship. Win, place, $5. Let's go back to back. $5, 3-leg. Beautiful.
Very nice.
Pineapple of the week. Geez, I thought I was confident before starting the show, but now you got Citizenship just, I want a piece of it. And then
mate, just put them together.
Whatever whatever it's called. That's going to jump lead win, but
like the community, double down on the pineapple.
Yeah, should just take a 3-legger multi. That'll go down well. I'm going to stay with my original choice. It's going to be Moonee Valley, race 2, number 2 or 1, Unflinching. I think it just jump leads win. I'm going to put a lot of trust into the female jockey, Amy McLucas. I think she can ride. This horse is clearly a class above these when going well. Back around a corner, tight turning track, loves the valley. Track stats tell me yes. So we will kick things off with race 2 around the $1.90 with our pineapple of the week. Happy?
Mate, very happy. I know a lot of people, though, that will just be going, I like this one. I like this one. Let's put them together. I like big pineapples.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of people throwing a few of these legs around each other. But please, guys, please gamble responsibly. If you do have a problem, please call the number 1-800-858-858. It's very important. We are a show of punting, but if you do think you do have a problem, please ring the number and gamble responsibly, more importantly, or bet within your needs. Anything else to add, Matty, to end the show?
Mate, off to Flemington on Friday night. Always good racing at HQ. Interesting down the straight with big fields. It's going to be fascinating. And then off to Moonee Valley on Saturday. So good weekend of racing.
Yeah, it's pretty good for off-peaking. I think it's pretty good.
Indeed.
Nothing else to add,
mate.
All right,
Nothing else.
You have a good weekend. If you see Matty at the races, give him a hoy. He'll be out and he'll be flying on the beers.
I may be at a Bucks party and we may be tucked away a little bit away from the main crowd, so that's probably a good idea.
Yes. Yep. Just pack your helmets, punters. So, have a good weekend, buddy. And we'll be back next week with more off-peak racing and more winners during the week. So, we'll sign out with our favourite guy.
I'm not a good person, but it just goes to show that good things do happen to bad people. So anyone out there who's up against the wall, fucking stick to it. Every cent you got, your rent, your electricity bill, if you're going to buy your missus a ring, don't fucking do it. Keep punting. Keep fucking punting.